Today I'm going to be reviewing this 2-pack of Nerf guns that I recently purchased, and this is going to be Nerf Pro, and these are going to be the Gelfire ones. So they're not going to shoot traditional Nerf bullets like in most Nerf guns will. These are going to shoot these little gel, essentially little gel balls that they're going to shoot out of here. So it includes the eyewear. They do recommend this for ages 14 and up, and then there's no priming required, so you don't have to like pull it back like a traditional Nerf gun would. So I'm going to open this up, show you exactly what you're going to get inside of here and how it works. So when you first open up, this is everything that's going to come inside. So you're going to have the eye protection is going to be in here. And then these two little Nerf guns, these Gelfire guns, are going to be right inside the cardboard here. This is all going to be taped into place. So you're just going to need to untape it and open it up to get these little ones out. Now, just so you know, this is how small each of these little Gelfire rounds are going to be. They're going to be itty bitty. So compare that to what they show on the box. They look to be pretty large on the box. These are not. These are absolutely tiny. So I'm not sure if they changed it after they designed the box or what, but these are tiny. So when it says it includes 5,000 rounds, yeah, those are itty bitty. So this is probably not something I would recommend you doing inside or letting your kids do inside the house, just because it's going to be impossible to pick up these little tiny Gelfire rounds. They're not any close to the size that's actually pictured on the front of the box. You can see here the size of them is on here. Like, look at the size up here, look at the size up here, and then compare it to how small they are in here. So definitely not even close to the same size. So just something to keep in mind with that. Now, in regards to putting them in here, I believe this thing is just going to pop up. Let me see here. Yep, it just pops up right there, and then I'm just going to take and put them right inside of there. So I'm probably going to make a mess while doing this, but I'm just going to open this up, and let me grab a pair of scissors so I don't make a gigantic mess. So essentially on this Nerf gun, there's going to be two little spots. There's going to be the front where they're all going to kind of sit in and go down, feed into it. And then there's this back right here. And so this is where you can have extra ones. And then you're just going to take and close that down. Now, it says there's no priming required. It is important to note, even in my hand, this Nerf trigger is going to be way far forward. So probably for younger kids, they're going to need to use like two hands to kind of pull it back. Again, they do recommend that you wear eyewear with this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull on this. I'm not sure how exactly this works. Looks like that needs to go forward. And you can see it actually fired like 3 of the little ones here, probably because I was pointed down. So I'm going to go ahead and point here. Yeah, it's not firing one at a time. It's firing a bunch of them. Now, it's going to be hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. It's firing a bunch of them just kind of all over the place when they're firing. These are like little hard. I would say they feel almost like the consistency of sprinkles. So like sprinkles that you put on ice cream or something. And it's also important to note that it's not going to be one per trigger pull. So like every time you pull a trigger, you might be launching maybe 10 of them or something like that, just because of how small that they are. And so that means that 5,000 rounds sounds like a lot, but if you're firing 10 at a time, then it's certainly not a ton. So that is something that you want to consider and something to keep in mind. Another thing I just noticed here is actually when I've got it pulled backwards here, they're actually leaking out the back of this thing. So despite it having supposedly being closed, there's a spot right here where they can kind of come out of the back. So they're actually leaking out if turned upside down and sideways like that. So again, that's going to be a downside. So overall, truthfully, I prefer the traditional Nerf bullets to these. I feel like the Nerf bullets, you can continually reuse them over and over again. You're never going to be able to find these little gel things. They're just way too small. And then also the fact that you're going to be shooting like 10 or 15 of these out every single time is really a downside. Like, I thought these would be a great option, you know, for my kids. That way they don't have to constantly be pulling it back or whatever to launch a Nerf bullet or constantly be reloading them. And 5,000 Gelfire rounds seems like, oh man, this is going to last them a long time. But when you're shooting that many at a time, man, you're going to lose these really, really quickly. So, I mean, just maybe 10, 15 minutes of playing, I could see easily running out of these that quickly, just because they launch so many at a time. It's not one at a time. And they're not near as big as what they look like on there. So overall, truthfully, I prefer the traditional Nerf bullets, the traditional Nerf guns, over these Nerf Pro Gelfire ones.